Okra grant. And you need to open the meeting for,
You have to open a public hearing, yeah.
okay, we're open for a public hearing for our Okra grant.
Thank you very much. We'll begin the public hearing. Good evening. My name is Greg Beimer with Klein Peter Consulting Group. We are putting together the town's application to apply for a $750,000 grant. That application is due on June the 20th. We've had a public hearing earlier that was for the proposal stage. Okra came to the community, met with the council president, the clerk treasurer, and said, bring us the full application. So this is the final step before June the 20th. And again, we're here this evening to gather input from the public, answer any questions they may have. So to kick this off, I'd like to turn it over to Dan Cutshaw, the lead engineer on the project, to just explain it a little bit. Dan?
Thank you, Greg. All right, this is a project for improving the water treatment plant. The original water treatment plant was built in the 1950s. We are going to expand it with a larger water treatment plant to serve the needs of Thorntown. And as part of that, we're also going to drill one new well. And I do have a schedule I was going to hand out. I think I emailed it to Amy and Corinne and maybe Grumpy. Let me give all you guys a schedule. There's a figure in here that is wrong. So we did negotiate. I know Amy's still working on this Arbor agreement. I think I don't know where I got this number, $213,000 quarterly payment. I think it's it's $168,000. So we see 213, it should be 168.
Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you.
So anybody have any questions on the project? It's basically very simple. A new well, a new water treatment plant. We're going to keep the old building and use it for storage. The clear well that is still there, we're going to reutilize it. And there'll be new filters and new pumps. And we'll use the same water towers and everything else will remain the same.
Dan, just for the sake of the minutes of this hearing, can you talk about the need? And I realize some of this is for additional volume, but the plant has some drawbacks.
Yeah, the need, you're right, it is a volume as well, but the need is the plant was built in the 50s and it's just lived its life. I mean, it's in need of replacement. The aeration is leaking very badly. There's some other issues with the plant that just needs to be replaced.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Dan?
Will you take questions from the public?
Yes, that's what we're here for. Yes.
In your opening remarks, you said that this work would meet the needs of Thorntown. It seems to me that the needs of Thorntown today and in the near future are very, very different than the needs of Thorntown not very many years out. I wonder how far this takes us.
That's a really good question. We are basically doubling the capacity of the plant, and there are options to easily quadruple the capacity of the plant in the near future by adding another filter. So there should be plenty of water.
And so what you mean?
Roy Nicholson.
Any other questions? Okay.
This isn't a question, but I'll add this.
Sure.
A couple things. One, we run our pumps to what the capacity of our filters will allow. We can't do anymore.
Right.
And the other is, in the last few years, as we've had to change some of the valves, let me tell you what, between the paint and the rust, you are not taking bolts off to switch out pipes. You're grinding them off. So it's to the point now that any sort of repairs is really a major issue. It's not a go in, let's unscrew a few bolts. It's let's cut the bolts, let's pound the piece out, and hopefully the brand new one will fit back in there, because that's how old the plant is. So there's some question about the upkeep of the current plant and whether or not we can actually truly repair any future problem we might face.
Good comments. Thank you. Anybody else? Questions? Yes, sir.
Is there an answer to this question? Was that in the form of a question or just a comment?
More of a comment to go along with what Dan said.
Then I have a question. Your proposal and the work that you're gonna do, will it accommodate his concerns about?
Absolutely. It'll be a brand new plant. Plant he's talking about, that'll be mothballed and removed.
Okay, catching up here.
Anyone on the council, any questions, comments? Corin, do you have any?
No, I don't think so. Nothing that I hadn't said before.
Okay, all right.
I said, did I send you pictures of the glass of water?
I did receive pictures of,
Okay.
and we will certainly add that to the application. As you're well aware, there have been multiple people who, especially during the survey that we did, when there was a requirement of the applications, we do a residential survey. There were multiple comments about the quality of the water. And we had one resident who sent us a clear glass with water directly from the tap. And it's very evident that you can see some sediment, but the water is not crystal clear. And that's no judgment on your water. It's just a matter of fact at that person's residence. And so we will include that in the application. So, Mr. President, with that, I think we've covered all the requirements of the public hearing. And unless you have anything else, I'll go ahead and close.
I don't have anything.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to do anything about the closing.
Are we supposed to vote on that closing? No. Okay.
No. Okay, we have anything from the public? Anybody out there have any questions? Okay,
Actually, I think you and Dan and him all need to get together about that property business. So when you want to do it.
I guess we're almost down to you. The utility board.
Yeah, 'cause that's.
Mike, you got anything?
With the town boys thing.
Earl?
I don't know.
Dan, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, other than, if anybody has any questions on that schedule, there'll be, some, things happening next month. We gotta work on a couple things. Grumpy and I have been working on this property stuff, but, we'll be working on that during the next 30 days.
Okay, Amy, does she have the footage requirements?
For Bechtel,
Yeah,
yep, I sent those to her about an hour ago.
Okay, good. Thank you.
So you have that.
Okay.
And we did a legal description and a drawing. Those, and Greg was telling me that we've got to get, he's gonna get a uniform offer letter pamphlet that you need to hand the property owner. There's a process we gotta follow. And we have to get all that signed by the 20th of June.
Both property owners for both of the pieces that we're talking about?
Well, I was gonna ask Jeff today about Mr. Beck.
Yes,
I've not heard what's going on.
I think he has a call with him tomorrow.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
But there is an option. Grumpy and I talked about this on the site last week. There is an option to go down the hill in the woods and put the new well down there because you do own that property already.
Good. That's
Yeah.
what we were talking about. Okay, that's what we
So-
were trying to flesh out in the emails about the,
If Mr. Beck isn't cooperative, that's the
good,
way to go.
good.
We just can't clear the
Good.
woods until after October 30th because of the Indiana bat.
Because of what?
Indiana bat.
I was married to three of them.
Grumpy, you're on record.
What, on this schedule for today, it says town council to approve arbor agreement. Please.
Yeah, we've got to move that back. I think Amy mentioned that was probably gonna be in 2 weeks, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah, that'll be in 2
So-
weeks.
This schedule is a draft. There's a couple things that I've noticed that I need to change, like the amount for arbor, and then that draft agreement, or the agreement to be signed at next, in 2 weeks at the next board meeting. That's it.
You said the Okra application had to be submitted by the 20th, June 20th.
Correct.
It's on here for the 6th, Friday, June 6th, so I just,
Yeah, that's my deadline to get him stuff.
okay.
That's why I have it. He still needs my stuff by June 6th.
Mhm.
And you have the packet for the land acquisition for the Bechtold property, or?
I can have that to
Okay.
whoever here needs it
Okay,
tomorrow morning.
okay, perfect.
You're
That's good.
grumpy.
Okay.
So you can take it to them, the offer. It's a letter, right, that goes to the property owner first.
There's,
Well,
He'll get it to you.
what does the letter have, what's it say, I guess? What's the gist of the letter?
I'm sorry.
What's the gist of the letter?
Basically, it is a pamphlet that explains to the landowner that their property could be involved in a federally funded project. And it says you are entitled to compensation, but if you do want to donate, then we wait 2 days from the date that they sign for the pamphlet. And then they sign a waiver of acquisition rights. It says we wish to do a full donation.
And that's all in that pamphlet?
It's all in the pamphlet.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So Dan, and we can talk about this later, but since we're on a quick turnaround for the application for the grant, what, do we need to start taking steps to move the plan into the land that we already own? I mean, what do we need to do for that? Or, because I know you need me to sign something saying that we have the land under control, and that's required for the grant application?
All that happens after we design the project,
Okay,
and then we do all that later.
okay, So
it
we
doesn't
will be
have to
fine.
done right now.
okay, nothing for the grant. I mean, we
Nothing
would
for the
be
grant.
okay to just sign saying that it's going on the land. I mean, you don't need to do any tests to ensure that it would be fine there. Okay. Okay, good.
And the other stipulation that's in that document is that we have to get permits within a few months and have it built.
They just have to be identified.
Just stuff, and they are.
Okay. Okay,
I'm
good.
good on that.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, we need to approval for the minutes for May 9th and the 19th.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for May 9th and May 19th.
Mayor second.
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,
Okay,
Sarah, did you vote or were you abstaining? Okay,
what you do?
abstaining because she wasn't here.
Okay. Okay. Green.
Okay, I just wanted to share to start with that I had the privilege to go out and tour the Lily site last week. And it's really pretty cool out there. And it looks big from the highway, but once you're in there, it looks big, really big. But it's, I don't know, it's just a pretty neat little thing. They explained all the different buildings that are going to be on that site. They're already up. There's still a lot to be done. But, and those of us that went on this little tour, we got to sign one of the beams that goes up in one of those buildings. So I thought that was kind of fun. So the other thing, I sent you guys an email that I received asking if we were interested in a township map. So I just need to know whether you're interested in doing that or no.
I personally thought it was very high priced when you can get the full plat map book from the county. You know what I should have bought one. You know what I'm talking about?
The plat book.
Yeah, I mean, last time I got one, I think they were $25. I'm sure they're probably 30 now, but that's still a lot cheaper, but that's just my opinion.
Any other opinions? Okay, so no map. Okay. Believe it or not, I've started all the budget meetings and the training and all that good stuff. So that's all on the way, and next meeting I should have your schedule of all the dates that everything is due. We have a donation of the porta potty up at the Lions Park. They actually delivered it today. But I did talk to Amy and said that we really should have the council approve the donation. Anytime Outhouse takes care of it, they come in every week, take care of it. So there's nothing on our part. They don't require that we lock it. But if we decide we want to lock it at night, we can. So they made sure, and I haven't been up there yet, but they said they would deliver a unit where we could put a padlock on it if we needed to.
Corinne, is there a contract between them and the town, or an invoice that the town needs to pay?
No, the people
The
donating
donors.
will be billed.
They'll be billed, okay.
Yeah, nothing comes to the town. So I just need to know if you accept the donation of a porta pot.
I will make a motion to accept the donation of a porta pot for the Lions Club Park.
Mayor, second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Alrighty,
Passes. Question. They are gonna pump it every week.
that's what they said. Yeah, I've got an email. I don't have it right here, but I've got an email in there of all the different things that they take care of, and their requirement was that we set it someplace where the truck can easily get to it because their hose is only like 30 feet. So they take care of it.
Do you need to have
Okay.
the council approve the location of it, or is there really only one place it can be?
Well, we put it on the east side of the park. So there used to be a fence, and the fence has been taken down because it wasn't bad. I think the posts are still there. But then there's a drive, and so it's been put on that drive closest to the north end as it could, so that they can get to it
Good
easily
access.
from Pearl Street.
Okay. Are you done? Or you got more?
I'm done.
Okay, unfinished business. Lions Park usage.
We don't have anything, no new update at this point.
Okay. Town flag.
Okay, finally looked into that a little more. You guys have a copy of the little flyer I made, as well as an application. That's just a prototype pick it apart. I don't have any problem with that. On the application, I did put that statement at the top that we have the final say so on approving or disapproving the flag, because I think you said that, didn't you, Murphy?
Yep.
I did contact that Crossroad Imprints. They want nothing to do with it. They said they don't have the capability. But they told me to contact Mouse Graphics, and I did. And John was very helpful. And so basically it'd be a 3x5 nylon flag, double-sided. There's no limit on colors. You cannot use metallics. So if anybody submits something metallic, that's the only kind of showstopper. He asked how many we would get. I just threw a number at him of 6. And that would be $152.50 each, plus a minimum of $50 for the artwork, which is a one-time thing. And then anytime we got more flags or something with that imprint on it, it's already done, so you wouldn't have to pay it. He did say if it's really, really busy, like say the sheriff's logo, it's hard to control the colors. I imagine they tend to, overlap and change colors. That's really about where I'm at with it. So, on my flyer here, I can change any of this. Like I said, this is just a prototype. But I put on there that the flag drawing should be due by July 30th. I don't know what you guys think on that. That's
Where are they going to be due? Here?
They will submit the application and stuff will be submitted to the library. Sorry. I already
Okay.
talked to them. They're good to go. They said they were glad it was late July though, because it was earlier, they wouldn't want to do it because of the summer reading programs.
Well, I think if we get this out quick enough, July 30th ought to be enough time for
Yeah, I would think so too, but
somebody to come up with their idea.
right.
Mhm.
As far as how we distribute them, whether we want to try to use the utility company to mail them out or just post them.
They've already mailed everything for this month.
Okay. Well, that-
Well, at least I got my bill. I suppose you did too, didn't you?
Yeah, that's good. So,
Matt can probably run them around house to house. He ain't doing anything.
So are you wanting these mailed, or I guess what are you wanting to mail?
no, I'm just, Grumpy had mentioned using the utility company to put them in the utility bills to get them out there. But if that's already passed, then obviously we'll just have to start posting in places where people can see it.
Yeah, and that would have cost us money too, to do that. So anytime we include a mailing with the bill, we have to submit all that stuff ahead of time, and then they'll let us know what it costs to do it.
So Max doesn't cover that.
No.
Again.
Well, we could, I mean,
So we've got,
we could take a few around to the businesses in town. We could leave some at the library.
And-
Put some up in the window,
Hang
art
it.
center.
we can have Robbie put it on the park Facebook thing. And I can send it out on the website. And then we can ask the park to put it on the sign at the park, Lions Park.
Okay.
So are we ready to rock and roll with this?
If
This
everybody
paperwork?
likes the way it looks, then I'll,
Where are you voting? Are you voting at the library?
the library, yeah.
I think that's the only thing that probably isn't on there. And then you got down there You can pick up the application at the library, but it doesn't say anything about turning it in at the library.
Yeah, you might want to add, turn your drawings into the library, and then maybe something about voting will take place August 1st to August 30th
That's a good
at
idea.
the library.
So we want to give that many weeks, I guess, for people to vote.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I'm just
So,
throwing it out there.
okay, so at $1 at a vote, eventually somebody's going to ask, where's this money going?
It's all going right back into the flag.
So it's going to pay for the flags. Okay. Or help pay for the flags anyway. Okay.
Flag votes.
Can I ask a question? We talked the other day about if these were gonna be banners on the street lights, or if we were gonna put flags on places.
Thought we decided on flags because the banners were problematic for the Christmas decoration.
Good answer. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay.
Okay, so voting,
I didn't know if we made that decision or not, but I was going to
The
suggest.
park has a flagpole, don't they?
Yeah.
Would they be willing to fly a flag there?
But I'm pretty sure we can tell them that we want them to fly the flag.
so vote August 1st to the 30th, which is a Saturday.
Is that too long?
Is that? And then I believe, I don't have anything in front of me in September because the 1st would be Labor Day, so I think we're meeting on the 8th. So that would be when the winner would be announced on the 8th at the council meeting.
Yes.
How long will it take to get a flag made? Did he tell you that? Or did he say that?
We did talk about it. He said the artwork is what will slow it down. Getting back to if it's real complex, then they have to do a lot of work to get it nice and sharp.
I was just thinking whether we go get in time for the festival, but it sounds like that's gonna be pretty technical.
I think that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily have to have the voting go for a whole month either. I mean, we could make it 3 weeks, that gives us an extra week.
Right, yeah, that's what I was wondering. We wanted to squeeze that together a little bit to try to get it. So we could get the flag before the, I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm just.
Well, I can talk to him a little more about it and see what he said. But when is the festival?
Last
weekend.
full weekend.
September.
So it will be 26, 27, 28.
Max, having to do with your question, most of you seen my shirts. It's got Grumpy on the front, and it's got something on the back. I originally went to Mounts, and he said, no problem. And then 3 months later, or 4 months later, I started getting my shirts. So I mean, if he's gonna do that with this flag, then we need to look for somebody else, but, I don't think my artwork was that, it wasn't anything, it wasn't rocket science. But I don't know what took him so long, but it took him almost all summer before I got any shirts.
Well, I've been in the printing industry, and a couple of things you gotta think about is the artwork does take some time, and you're not the only customer he's got. Depends on how busy they are.
Well, evidently he must have had 150 or 100, 200, 300 of them. I don't know. I'm just telling you what happened to me.
There's a
I
lot
took these up, I got these from the guy uptown who said that he wouldn't do it right. Randy?
Yeah.
He said he wouldn't.
Yeah, he said he just
The guy
didn't
uptown,
really have.
he did these shirts and he did a pretty good job. Okay.
So other than me putting this on the website. Is there anything else you
Well,
need me to do?
Yeah, we gotta modify that, so you can't put that on there. I'll have to bring the ordinance.
Oh, well, I can't actually put this on there. I have to retype stuff, so.
Yeah.
I'm that savvy. So I have to do it the old fashioned way.
Right, but
Okay, I'll wait till you give me a new clean one.
Do we not,
I,
do
okay,
we not have a scan?
Yeah, I can scan.
You could scan that.
Well, I know I can't scan red because if I even copied red, this is going to come out as a black piece of paper. So whatever you
I'll get
do,
you a black and white one.
I'm going to need it on white. Yeah. And Stephen might be able just to help me if I do this whole thing.
Okay, moving on, the ordinance, 2025 salary ordinance needs amendment reading.
Second reading.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the second reading of ordinance 2025-2, an ordinance establishing the compensation to be paid to officials and employees of the town of Thorntown, Indiana for the calendar year 2025. And what we have amended from the first reading is on the page 2, $75 per hour will be the fee for the utility administrative advisor. And that's the ordinance. Everything else remains the same.
I'll make a motion to accept ordinance 2025-2.
Or second.
I'll second. I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Ordinance passes.
Everybody signs.
Okay. Okay, new business, bids for the Oddfellows building. I didn't realize you guys were selling already.
Never gonna happen.
Okay, so this one is on masonry restoration.
Just passed it down.
No, you need to read who it's from and what their bid is and
Okay, this bid is, Brick and plus Ember Outfitters. Off of Franklin Road in Indianapolis. And I'm not sure what they're bidding here.
Masonry restoration.
It looks like the restoration from the front and back they got on here. And their estimate is $23,678.
Okay. I have one here that I don't know, they didn't mark on the outside of the envelope what it is, so I guess let's just go ahead and do it and find out what it is.
Stab myself.
Let's hope not. Because I could talk to Dan to see if Dan could review them to make sure they're having the correct specs and stuff. Yeah, so I should do that too, you think? And do it to both. Okay. Okay. So they can go ahead and accept the bid with legal review and engineering review. Subject to.
Okay, this one has to do with, looks like concrete work. And the bidding firm is Viv Exterior Design and Fishers. And it's $55,696. I'm not real sure what the rest of that has to do with the back of it. But
So, okay,
it's
so
on
he
there.
said,
Or only four categories, he said concrete work.
so it would have to be the masonry.
We got a third one, green.
Yeah, I've got two more things, but we need to be clear on what this bid is for.
That's for concrete work.
So it's for sidewalk.
Yep.
Is that the only thing, or is everything else included in it? Because it was sidewalk, benches, planters.
Can I offer an assist?
Yes.
We're just trying to figure out which one it was responsive to, if it's.
So if it's concrete, can I peek? Can I peek at that?
At the bid?
Or just at the,
I'm sure. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay, here you go.
yeah. And then I'll give it right back.
That's kind of what I read.
All existing concrete curbing will be removed. Base prep work for new concrete walkways and curbs will be completed. Areas where trees will be installed will be excavated of all rock and debris and topsoil will be installed. Concrete will be installed.
So that is in response to the bid for the one, yeah, I think you just had it up, but it was,
Facade masonry, tuck
no,
pointing.
No.
it is exterior
Streetscape.
streetscaping. And so that covers the new concrete sidewalks, digging for the tree planters, planting the trees, procuring the trees, planting the trees, the metal grates around the trees, the two street benches, and the one trash receptacle.
You said exterior streetscape.
And it includes a component of moving the existing bench to the back and a concrete apron for the commercial back door on the back.
There's nothing at this side of the curb that's there now. Is that correct?
This is everything between the white building on the west edge and the Oddfellows on the right edge up to the street, but not in the street.
Not in the street.
No.
We're not doing what Lebanon did.
No.
Go out and make these little curly cues in the street.
No. I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but we're not.
Well, the
Yeah.
reason I'm bringing that up, because that has nothing on there about doing something with the state, because the state is
No.
going to go along.
That's a
with
can of worms that
VIVE,
we're
I
not
believe.
doing here.
VIVE.
It's Vive Exteriors.
That's what they're
That's,
that.
that's,
VIVE.
yeah.
Okay, and what is the quote, the bid on that?
55.
$55,696.
$696, okay.
And there,
Okay,
It does say back here, odd fill of building streetscape, remove existing concrete and curb and properly dispose of off-site, prep area for new broom finished concrete and curb is shown on the plan. Concrete will be cut per dimensions on the plan, concrete will be sealed after cutting. Shade master honey locust, 2-inch, 5-foot square tree grates with frames, pulverized topsoil, pea gravel, 5-foot benches with anchors, trash receptacle with anchor. It's got some pictures of the benches, the trash receptacle.
I'm gonna want to share information with you on the trash receptacles.
Got
So let's not forget. Okay,
So I'm sorry, we have one for tuck pointing and brickwork facade, and we have one for streetscaping.
Right.
Okay. got it.
yes. Now, the next one says on the outside that it is for the exterior electrical.
Okay. Finish and install new wiring. It's the estimate from Lux Electric, Emerald Pine Lane, Westfield. And a phone call. Furnish and install new wiring and fixtures on the front of 102 West Main Street. Furnish and install 3 outlet posts with new wiring. And tree mulch beds, concrete removal and pour back not included by others. Furnish and install house panel including service and meter for construction use. They got a total of $6,000.
So per the drawings, that gets you 4 exterior lights mounted on the building, but sundown to sunup exterior lights paid for by me, paid for by building owner. And then 3 plugs that extend under the street and come up where the tree grates are for me, but, for us if we need. 1 light on the back over the exterior commercial door, and then the panel to control all that.
They're showing these as posts for they're putting the
Yeah, they should be.
receptacles on posts.
Yeah, so the plans called for locking posts in the tree, popping out at the front edge of the sidewalk, but they should be locking so that we can access them and, people aren't charging their Teslas on them.
Well, that's what I was gonna ask you.
Yeah.
You're not putting in charging posts for,
Yeah,
It sounded like it covered everything that was on the
that sounds right. Yeah.
bid thing.
well, when the
It's also
when the
under budget.
KFP has the thing at the festival of turning leaves, well, they'll be plugging into it.
Well, I figured we'd be working together on that. And I'm not opposed to it. That's what it's there for, we can talk about it.
Yeah, furnish install new wiring, 3 fixtures on the front of 102 West Main, one rear building fixture on the front of 110 West Main. Furnish install 3 outlet posts with new wiring and tree mulch beds, concrete removal and pour back, not included and by others. Furnish install house panel, including service and meter for construction use. 6,000.
Okay, this one is for the fire protection. That's one for each. That's all we got.
I've never given us a new fire truck.
Is that all of them?
No,
That's-
we got one
That's
more.
all we got.
Okay. I can,
Yeah.
let me recap that then.
That one we got. This from Florian Fire Protection. Monument Drive in Edmond. We got a liability bond in here for 266260, which I don't know who pays for that. They probably do. $53,252 for
$53,252.
yeah. Really doesn't say what they're doing.
They're actually here right now if,
So we're gonna, basically, that quote includes the installation of fire sprinklers in the residential portion only, and then fire alarm throughout the entire building, basically per the drawings.
Okay. So that price includes that.
Yeah, and we included, there's two, looks like you got it in your hand right now, there's more, a scope, basically a scope letter for the fire alarm and a scope letter for the fire, or the sprinkler.
Okay.
so, while you're doing that, no, there were 4 bids. Okay, can I do a summary real quick? To try to help, put this all together. So we're gonna leave windows aside. Windows were already bid and awarded. Troy from Whitaker up here won those. There were 5 packages to bid on. Windows was 1. That's done. It's in motion. There were 4 other packages. You ended up with 1 bid from each package. The sum of all those bids together is beneath the projection of the group, of the whole put together. So we're under. I'm generalizing here, but the sidewalk planters trash bench, call it landscaping, the streetscaping portion of that was over a fair bit. The electrical was under almost a commensurate amount. Tuck pointing facade, a little bit under. Fire suppression, a teeny bit over. The net sum is under projections. And conveniently, those 4 companies are ones that reach out to either Corrine and I believe that they understand the scope and the timeline. So I think you got some numbers, but for you to decide.
Roughly 138,000.
Yeah.
So does that satisfy you?
I'm good. Well, most importantly, I'm also good. The money part is important.
Yeah,
Their ability to meet the deadline is also critical. The deadline moved forward compared to what our perception was. It moved forward 3.5 months. So we need everybody to be done with this by August 31st. And my conversations with these 4 vendors is that they can hit that. That's a big deal for me.
I might question the part about with your dad about whether or not you're good or not.
Whether I'm good for it?
That way you're good.
He's my best son. I don't.
The only one, yeah.
Like,
You got that little, the little one built in here.
It's with the rest of the fire protection.
Okay. That, the fire protection little one was in here too. This one and this one.
Okay, but they were from the same company.
Same
Right.
company, but they came together and
Oh, yeah, oh, God, it's financials. Okay, so they're all here. As long as
Yeah.
they're all here is the main
Yeah.
thing. So, and I didn't think to bring this paperwork in here. So when this was all submitted for the ARPA money for like what our $100,000 will be used for, I believe our 100,000 was specifically for the windows.
Uh,
That doesn't sound right.
no.
No, we're a part of everything. There's a little bit that goes to everything else too, wasn't
Yeah,
there?
the Boone EDC state portion, almost 100% of that. Well, I'm sorry, 100% of that, and then a little bit more from me and a tiny bit from you was for the windows. And then the remaining pieces from you were for the sidewalk planters, trash and bench, call it streetscaping, the electric and the exterior lighting component, and the brickwork.
You don't,
So those three were that 100.
you don't have those numbers in front of you, do you? Those where they amended everything?
I have the sum of those numbers. I have
Okay, that's all right.
35. You want me to tell you that?
No, don't worry about that.
Okay.
So basically, here's what will happen here is out of the ARPA money we're putting in, we'll pay for what we need to. Out of the ARPA money being awarded to Braden, it'll pay for what it needs to. If there's any left over, and I don't know if the timeline is going to allow us, but if there's any left over, we can always ask them if we can use that extra money toward something else on that building. Due to the fact that they changed the deadline stuff, we may not have time to even go there. So out of our 100,000, if there's anything that we don't spend, then we will have to return that to the state. So it's just a lot of paperwork from here forward. So, but now, a couple of other things. You can approve these bids tonight. Amy needs to look at them to make sure all the different stuff on the legal side is on here that needs to be. I think we might have a couple of options here. Braden's engineers are who created the bid quote information, all of that good stuff. And I have talked to Dan because I didn't know if we needed a third-party engineer to review this stuff. But he said, yes, they could. So I don't know. Do you know if we need a third-party engineer, or can we just let Braden's engineer go ahead and review and make sure that what's being said is what was on the bid thing?
I think that's okay, if they would be willing to,
My engineer's already bought and paid for, so
Okay.
it seems like the cost-effective way.
and they drafted the,
Yeah,
specs,
it's
so-
to their specs.
yes, to their
so
specs, so that
yeah.
would be the easiest. Could they just maybe write the council a letter just confirming that, these
They
bids,
endorse it.
yeah,
yeah,
that these bids
for
meet
sure.
the specs? Okay,
Yeah.
I think that's sufficient.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what can be done is, in order to keep things moving because of the tight timeline that we have, if you wanted to go ahead and approve it and say on the condition, of the approval of legal
Yep.
and engineering, yes. And then once Braden and I get the information back that, yes, everything's fine, then they can move forward.
Do we have to do them individually, or can we do it all at once?
You can do them all at once. I would list them, name them though, but.
I'll make a motion to accept the bids for the Oddfellows building from Brick and Ember for $23,678. Viv exterior design for $55,696. Lux Electric for $6,000 and floor and fire protection for $53,252, pending legal and engineering review.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion
Okay.
carries.
I will get you copies.
Yeah.
I'll send them to you and Amy both.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, other business. Anybody got anything in the council? You want to talk about? We good down that end? This is short. I hear a motion to
Mr. President,
never,
you should have a resolution for the grant application.
Yes. Okay. Okay, this is a resolution. Oh, I forgot to put the number on it. Authorizing application submission and local match commitment. Resolution of the town of Thorntown, Indiana, authorizing the submittal of the WDW application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs and addressing related matters. Do we have to read all the rest of this, the whole thing?
Mhm.
Okay. Whereas the council of the town of Thorntown, Indiana recognizes the need to stimulate growth and to maintain a sound economy within its corporate limits, and whereas the Housing and Community Development Act of 1974, as amended, authorizes the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs to provide grants to local units of government to meet the housing and community development needs of low and moderate income persons. And whereas the town of Thorntown, Indiana has conducted or will conduct public hearings prior to the submission of an application to the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs, said public hearings to assess the housing, public facilities, and economic needs of its low and moderate income residents. Now therefore be it resolved by the council of the town of Thorntown, Indiana, that 1, the council president is authorized to prepare and submit an application for grant funding to address water improvements and to execute and administer a resultant grant, including requisite general administration and project management, contracts and agreements pursuant to the regulations of the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs and the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development. 2, the town of Thorntown, Indiana hereby commits the requisite local funds in the amount of $3,800,000 in the form of state revolving loan funds as matching funds for said program, such commitment to be contingent upon receipt of WDW funding from the Indiana Office of Community and Rural Affairs. Adopted by the town of Thorntown, Indiana, the second day of June, 2025 at 7 p.m.
do I have a motion to accept that? That from, for the Oka grant to be turned in by the 20th of June.
Adopt resolution number. What resolution number?
I need to go get a number.
Okay.
I forgot.
Count your toes and make something up.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Which one?
That what she just read.
It will be resolution number 8.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 8 and allow town council president to sign such resolution.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Okay. All right, and Greg, what about the other two pieces? We're not ready to sign those yet, correct?
Well, you can sign your
Mine.
letter, and the application will be contingent upon resolution of any acquisition issues.
Okay, so the CDBG signature page, we're not doing anything with yet, right? Or,
Let's hold up on that.
okay. Okay, what happened to my letter? Okay, and I've got the letter. So we're good to go on that, okay. Do you want copies of those before you leave this evening?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll do that here shortly. Okay.
Did I hear a motion to close the meeting?
I'll make a motion to adjourn at 8:02.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody, appreciate it.
What is this? This is oh, this was something that was presented at the last meeting, and I saved a copy for you.
Did the council?
Well, it's back in Dylan Bowe's hands. So
Okay.
what has happened
Is
is
he the
Dylan,
petitioner?
yes,
Like the, okay.
he approached the APC first about this alley, which over years, I mean, the alley doesn't even exist. And Traeger's just hard to get out.
It exists on paper, but nowhere else.
But nowhere else.
Yeah.
So anyway, Marcellus
Okay.
was
Yes.
involved.
So they came back and said, we're going to approve this, and go up to a 2-hour fire separation between the first and second floor. So we agreed to that.